In the early 2000s, male fashion was dominated by one look: skinny frames, androgynous silhouettes, a kind of fragility that had little to do with masculinity. Men didn't necessarily want to dress that way, but it was the image of fashion. Then one man appeared. Not softer, not slimmer, but grounded. Stubble, broad shoulders, physical presence. David Gandy. He was found through a television modeling contest, and within a few years he became the face of Dolce & Gabbana. Nothing flashy, nothing forced, and yet it changed everything. Today I'll show you what David Gandy gets right about style, and why his look represents the perfect balance between elegance and masculinity. Chapter 1. Why David Gandy changed modeling. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the dominant male fashion image wasn't masculine. It was editorial, slim, sharp, often androgynous, more like a hanger than a man you want to become. That look worked for fashion houses because it didn't compete with the clothes. The model was meant to disappear, but for regular men watching from the outside, the message was different. If you want to be stylish, you have to be narrow, soft, almost delicate, and most men couldn't relate to that and didn't want to. Then Gandy shows up. He doesn't look like a fashion concept. He looks like a man. Stubble, strong jaw, wide shoulders, a physical presence that reads as confident before he says a word. And that's the key. Gandy wasn't just attractive, he was recognizable, masculine. And here is what it changed in male modeling. He made masculinity fashionable again. Gandy proved you could be clean, elegant without looking frail. He didn't bring macho into the fashion, he brought strength with restraint. Because masculinity isn't loud, it's controlled. Most models look good in clothes because they're models. Gandy looked good in clothes because his style was simple and structured. Basic colors, clean fit, strong silhouette, nothing complicated. That's why those Dolce & Gabbana images hit so hard. Because men looked at it and thought, wait, I can do that. He shifted the ideal from trendy to timeless fashion trends. What Gandy represented was not a moment. It was a standard: well-fitted basics, strong outerwear, clean grooming, neutral colors and consistency. And that standard has lasted because it's not based on hype, it's based on how people perceive men in real life. So when I say David Gandy changed male modeling, I don't mean he just got famous. I mean he helped bring back an image that men actually wanted: elegant, masculine and effortless. And now we get into the real lessons. What he does with style to create that effect. Chapter 2. Physical presence without showing off. Most men think presence comes from showing the body. Tight clothes. It communicates a need for validation. David Gandy understands something most men miss. Physical presence doesn't need to be advertised. It needs to be acknowledged. The view shape, always present, never forced. If you watch closely, there is one thing Gandy consistently protects in his outfit: the view shape. Broad shoulders, clean chest and a controlled taper down to the waist. Not extreme, not artificial, just balanced. And the important part is this: he doesn't create the view shape with tight clothes. He maintains it with smart choices. His jackets always work. Look at the jackets he chooses. They almost always have clean structured shoulders, a defined but natural waist, enough weight to hold their shape. These jackets don't squeeze the body, they frame it. Their shoulders sit slightly wider, the torso stays clean and the waist tapers subtly. That's what gives his presence direction. This is why outerwear is so important for masculine style. It sets the silhouette before anyone notices. His t-shirts are simple for a reason. Even something as basic as his t-shirt follow the same rule. They are not skin tight. They're not oversized, they skim the body. The sleeves end in the right place, the chest has room, the waist doesn't balloon. That balance allows the body to be visible without being the focus. And that's confidence. The same applies to his shirts. Crisp but not stiff, fitted but not restrictive. They follow the natural lines of the body, especially through the shoulders and chest, and then relax toward the waist. So the lesson here isn't to chase muscles or tailor everything. The lesson is to protect your silhouette. Let your clothes support your physical presence and not compete with it. Chapter 3. Elegance without softness. Elegance is often misunderstood. For many men, elegance means being delicate, refined to the point of softness, or overly polished. In fashion, elegance is frequently confused with fragility. Gandy proves the opposite. His style shows that elegance does not require weakness, it requires restraint. If you look closely at his outfits, you will notice clean lines everywhere. His shapes are clear, intentional, easy to read. Clean lines create clarity and clarity reads as confidence. He avoids unnecessary details. No loud patterns, no flashy textures, everything serves a purpose. Another key element is the weight. His clothes have substance. Coats with structure, knitwear with density, jackets that hold their shape. Even his casual pieces feel grounded. Weight matters because it changes how a garment moves. Heavy fabrics fall better, sit closer to the body, and communicate stability. This is why his elegance never feels fragile. It feels masculine. Restrained is the final piece. He rarely mixes too many elements at once. His outfits will build around few strong pieces instead of many interesting ones. This restraint sends a clear signal. It tells people that nothing here is accidental and nothing is desperate for attention. Elegance in this sense is not about refinement for others, it's about discipline for yourself. In real life, that's what separates men who look composed from men who look styled. Soft elegance fades into the background. Restrained elegance stands its grounded. The lesson here is simple. Elegance does not mean adding more. It means removing what weakens the message. And when elegance is built on clean lines, weight and restraint, it strengthens masculine presence instead of softening it. Chapter 4. The power of simplicity. Simplicity is often mistaken for lack of effort. In reality, simplicity is one of the strongest signals a man can send. Most men believe that they need more pieces, more layers, more details to look. David Gandy's style proves that basic pieces, when chosen correctly, carry more weight than complicated outfits. Jeans, t-shirt, knits, coats, and simple footwear form the foundation of his wardrobe. None of these items are special on their own. What makes them powerful is how intentionally they are used. Basic pieces allow the man to remain the focus. When an outfit is overloaded with details, the eye jumps around. When it's simple, the eye settles. And when the eye settles, the man appears grounded and self-assured. Simplicity also creates consistency. When a man relies on timeless basics, his style does not fluctuate with trends or moods. He looks familiar in the best way. Predictable, reliable, solid. This is why simplicity ages so well. Trendy pieces date quickly. Another important point is decision making. Men who dress simply make fewer visible decisions. A lesson here is not to dress boring. The lesson is to remove unnecessary noise. When the clothes are simple, the presence becomes louder, and that is why basic pieces, when worn with intention, always look stronger. Chapter 5. Mastery of color. Why his color choices always look masculine. Before fit, before details, before quality, before we get the color, and most men misuse it. David Gandy approaches color with restraint and control. If you look at his outfits, you will rarely see loud or competing colors. His palette stays grounded in neutrals. Navy, gray, beige, brown, white, and muted blues. Masculine colors use is not about standing out. It is about being readable and composed. He often builds outfits around one dominant neutral supported. One color leads the other's support. This prevents visual chaos. Strong color choices also age well. Muted classics colors do not belong to a specific year or trend. They feel permanent, not temporary. Another key point is contrast. Gandy uses contrast carefully. Light against dark, texture against smoothness, but never high contrast combination that feel aggressive or flashy. This is why his outfits feel calm even when they are sharp. Colors also support the silhouette. Darker tones are used where structure is needed, lighter tones where simplicity is the goal. Nothing is random. The lesson here is simple, guys. Masculine colors use is not about expression, it's about control. When your colors are restrained, your presence becomes clear. And that is why David Gandy's color choices always look masculine and intentional. Chapter 6. How men can apply this in real life. Everything you have seen so far only matters if it works outside of photos and campaigns. David Gandy is a model, but the principles behind the style are not exclusive to modeling, suits, or perfect genetics. They are practical, repeatable, and realistic. The first step is to simplify your wardrobe. Focus on a small set of reliable pieces, well-fitted jeans or trousers, clean t-shirts, knitwear, structured jackets or coats, and solid footwear. Remove anything that feels loud, trendy, or disconnected. Next, prioritize structure. Even casual outfits benefit from structure. A jacket instead of a hoodie, a coat instead of a soft layer. Structure instantly improves how an outfit is perceived. Then protect your silhouette. Choose fits that respect your shape without clinging to it. Maintain a clean shoulder line, controlled waist, and balanced proportions. This applies regardless of body type. Color should remain restrained. Build outfits around neutral tones, then let one color lead and keep the rest supportive. Avoid high contrast or overly expressive palettes. The final mindset shift is important. Do not dress to impress. Dress to be comfortable in your own presence. When your clothes align with you, who you are, confidence follows naturally. This is how men apply this in real life. Not by copying David Gandy, but understanding why his style works and translating it into their own lives.